Well, as we've reported, foreign countries are scrambling to evacuate their nationals, including diplomatic staff, from Afghanistan. The US is also having to consider helping Afghans who worked with their forces, making themselves potential targets for the Taliban. The collapse of the Afghan government just weeks after America withdrew its forces has put President Biden's policies under the spotlight, as our North America editor John Sopel reports.
Over many years, and at a cost of tens of billions of dollars, the US trained and equipped Afghan forces to be ready to take back control of their country. But they collapsed like a house of cards, one of many miscalculations made by the Biden administration over these dizzying few weeks. And today, America's most senior diplomat was trying to put a brave face on events.
What we're focused on now is making sure that we can get our people to a safe and secure place, that we can do right by the people who stood with us in Afghanistan all these years, including Afghans who worked for the embassy, worked for our military. We have a massive effort underway to bring Afghans at risk out of the country, if that's what they so desire.
America's attempt to export liberal democracy to Afghanistan is well and truly over. America's effort to build a civil society in Kabul and beyond also in tatters. And Joe Biden's prediction from 5 weeks ago that everything would be just fine has not worn well.
Well, first of all, the mission hasn't failed yet. So the question now is, where do they go from here? That the jury is still out. But the likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
The Taliban wants to make a deal.
The withdrawal policy was framed during the Trump administration and embraced by Joe Biden, who's at Camp David and today was being briefed by his officials. He believes passionately that America can't stay in Afghanistan indefinitely. But foreign policy hawks are rounding on both men.
What we're watching right now in Afghanistan is what happens when America withdraws from the world. So everybody who has been saying America needs to withdraw, America needs to retreat, we are getting a devastating, catastrophic, real-time lesson in what that means.
U.S. Embassy helicopters flew from roof to roof.
America's most scarring military defeat was summed up in the images of the last helicopter flying off the roof of the U.S. Embassy in Saigon at the end of the Vietnam War. Today's scramble to get out of Kabul may not be that, but it's not far short. John Sopel, BBC News, Washington.
Desperation on a scale not seen in decades. Thousands have arrived in Kabul in the past few days. People who had homes and jobs, who led dignified lives, forced to leave everything behind. Angry that they've been left on their own. No government, no humanitarian agencies. Malaka's sons are in the army. She says only the poor go to the battlefield while politicians watch.
We've seen this camp grow by the hour. People have been coming in from different parts of the country as more and more provincial capitals, more and more cities are being taken over by the Taliban. Many of those we've met here have run once, twice, multiple times, and now they've come here to Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. From here, they say, there's nowhere else to go.
To get here, they've survived dangerous journeys, past Taliban checkpoints and active front lines. Gulalai says they moved from one place to another for 3 days before they got to Kabul. She has 4 children. The youngest is 2. Ten-year-old Khalida was in school taking her exams when the Taliban attacked.
ما از جنگ گرفتیم یک برادرم و هم خوزستان.
Many had to leave their dead behind to save their own lives. Shir Mohammad's parents died in the violence.
روز سقوط در گرفت، دکانا را در داد، مردم را کشت، خانه مردم تیاره زد، تیاره به پیلوت راهی میکنه، برو طالب بزن، گفت از جایی که طالب بزنه بیادر میه خانه مردم میزنه. از بسته خانواده یک نشان نمانده، همگیشان شهید شد، در خاک یکسان شد. کدام شب بود؟
Many here have fled from Kunduz in North Afghanistan, which fell to the Taliban on Sunday. Today in Kabul, we bumped into these men who we'd met 4 weeks ago in Kunduz. Then, the city was a refuge for tens of thousands of people who'd fled fighting in villages. Now we've learned that in recent days, mortar shells landed in these camps. We don't know what happened to the people we'd met there. Most of the north of the country has been taken over by the Taliban now. Those who've escaped to Kabul are staring at uncertainty. Fears that the capital too could fall within weeks. Yogdalamae, BBC News, Kabul.